If you're in sales or you're in charge of building leads lists or doing sales support or GTM, you got to watch this video because this is absolutely insane. I want to remind you of how many things are wasting you time and money, and this is a big one right here. So I have a list that I pulled in clay.com. You should check it out if you don't know what it is, or if you're pulling in ZoomInfo, Apollo, Seamless, 6sense, any leads list builder, this is applicable. So your view will look different than mine, but the point is this. You pull a list of names, let's say 5,452 companies, all right? You pull it from a list, you have a list of criteria over here, you got your inputs, and you say, hey, I want industries I want to include is pharmaceutical manufacturing, okay? And you do the thing, right? You do all the exclusions and inclusions that you have, okay? You might think, okay, now I'm good to go, and I don't need to do anything else. I just need to now take this and find the people and enrich, find the phone numbers, emails, and stick them into a list and come up with a copy, and I'm done. No. Look how crazy this is, okay? So you'd think, okay, pharmaceutical manufacturing, we're all good. We got all this information. Okay, these target accounts are good to go. No. You have so much more exclusion that you have to do, specifically on the company side. Take a look at this little bot that I made. It's just a simple Claygent where I give it context and say that you're a web researcher tasked with verifying whether a company is a manufacturer of physical goods, or it looks like it. So I did the little generate thing here. I gave it the text, and then it went out and spit it out this information and prompted it, and I have OpenAI connection. So it's a little agent thing that goes out and looks. And take a look at this. Out of 5,452 companies, it said that only 906 were actually pharmaceutical manufacturing companies. Now, in my previous tests, this is for a client, and the last couple of years of my life that I've been working with Clay, this is about 80 to 90% accurate as far as Claygent. It's been getting better, and so this is crazy. So if I go here and remove this filter, right, you can start to see how it says false, 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 true, 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 and anything that's check marked here is in my ICP. And so you can go over here and click and see why. So the reasoning is that this research is described as contract research organization focused on clinical operations and affairs. Yet, down here it says pharmaceutical manufacturing, right? It's a full service, right? Somehow, for whatever reason, Clay or Apollo, ZoomInfo, whatever you use, is categorizing this industry as, yes, a pharmaceutical manufacturing. And so my point is that you got to be careful, because there's sets of criteria whenever you're doing these filters of industries, and it actually means that you're missing out on a whole lot of other companies, and it's a lot of times it's not correct. So for true, it says like, hey, the about page mentions manufacturing, right? Indicating in-house or contract capabilities for pharmaceutical products, right? And so it's crazy. From 5,452 to 905, that's like a 16%. 16%. So out of this entire list, it's totally wrong. The majority, like 85%. I think that's absolutely nuts. And so that just goes to show you how much waste and time you and I are putting into this if we don't take the necessary steps to not waste time, right? Which is going through and excluding more. So you're like, man, that's not a lot of companies. And I'm like, yeah, it's not. So it's only 900 companies. Then I have to find contacts for those 900 companies versus 5,000 companies. So what I'm actually doing is I'm actually going over here to Claude and literally just coming in here and saying, I need to find pharmaceutical manufacturers. I need you to pull 25 at a time, because I think that's the limit in the past I've done, at least. And I need these rows and columns and whatnot. They're the same rows and columns that match up here. And then what I do is I, just double check. And right now I have 126, right? And I kind of go through there and make sure that I just skim here, and I go to a couple websites as I go down here just to check. And then what I do is I keep going back and forth and adding this prompt here, 25 at a time, right? And then it's going to find me 25, 25, 25, and I'm going to try to get to 200 and add 200. And then inevitably, it's probably going to rip apart, instead of, 85% of these being wrong, it's probably going to be 25% are actually not, right? When I import it here in Clay and then run this little verification on it again. And then I'll have, the goal is 1,000. So I typically like to get 1,000 companies for a TAM or some sort of like finding companies, because then I find, maybe 1 to 2 people per company, and that's not every company, right? As far as the job title. And then, so it goes to 1,000 companies to maybe, 1,500 to 2,000 contacts maybe. And then if I'm lucky, and then half of those will actually have verified emails. So then you're, shooting for somewhere around 700, contacts or something like that. Right. So that's how the math works. So my point is, be careful, because you can spend a lot of time in credits, whether Clay credits, Apollo credits, ZoomInfo credits, everybody has credits now. Be careful. It's absolutely necessary, I've found, to exclude even more and have a little agent that actually goes through and says, yes, like the LinkedIn company description states deep manufacture, development, and distributing pharmaceutical formulations, right? Like that's what we need. And then if I were to go here, double check, right? Pharmaceutical manufacturing. If I type in manufacture, yep. By developing, we plan to develop, yep. There you go. So there you go. And sure enough, let's go to its website, and they are a legit company. There you go. Right? So that's what's needed. Be careful. If you want help, advice on building TAM or building sales tools, or having sales tools, implementing sales tools, doing research on target accounts, finding target accounts, verifying contact information, you let me know. You can email me, david@explodingleads.com. You can always text or call me, 816-405-1284. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. All right. See ya.